A monster that breathed living fire, a winged horse from the clouds, and a young man whose greatest victory led to his greatest fall. This is the story of Bellerophon and the Chimera. Bellerophon was a brave and noble young prince, famed across all of Greece for his courage and his skill. Through no true fault of his own, he was sent far from home to the court of a powerful king, carrying a sealed letter he could not read. But the letter held a secret and treacherous command, that the young man be given a task so deadly that he would never return from it alive. The king did not wish to harm a guest with his own hands, so instead he asked Bellerophon to do the impossible, to slay the dreaded Chimera. The Chimera was a horror unlike any other. It had the head of a roaring lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a hissing serpent, and from its jaws it breathed living fire. For years the monster had burned the fields and devoured the flocks of the land, and no warrior who ever faced it had survived. Bellerophon knew that no man could stand against such a beast on foot. To have any hope, he would need help from the gods themselves. A wise old seer told him his only chance: he must tame the wild-winged horse Pegasus and fight the monster from the sky above. Pegasus was a magnificent horse with great feathered wings, born of magic, who flew among the clouds and had never been caught by any rope or any hand. The seer told Bellerophon to sleep one night in the temple of the goddess Athena and there to pray for her aid. As he slept, the goddess Athena appeared to him in a dream and laid beside him a wondrous golden bridle. When Bellerophon awoke, the golden bridle was truly there in his hands, gleaming, a gift from the goddess herself. He went to a quiet spring where, it was said, the winged horse came down to drink, and there he hid himself and waited. And at last, on great beating wings, the winged horse came gliding down from the sky and bent his head to drink the cool water. Quietly, Bellerophon slipped the golden bridle over the horse's head. At once the wild creature grew calm and gentle, and let the young man climb upon his back. Together they sprang into the air, the young man and the winged horse soaring high above the hills and the shining sea. Then Bellerophon turned his winged steed toward the smoking lair of the fire-breathing Chimera. From high above, safe from its flames, he swooped and circled the great beast, raining down arrows as the monster roared and snapped at the empty air. But the Chimera's fire was so fierce that he could not draw close enough to finish it, and his arrows alone could not bring the monster down. So the young hero thought of a clever trick. He fixed a great heavy lump of lead onto the tip of his spear. Swooping low at last, he drove the lead-tipped spear straight into the monster's blazing open mouth. The creature's own fiery breath melted the lead, which poured molten down its throat, and so the dreaded Chimera was destroyed forever. Bellerophon flew home in triumph, and all the land rejoiced that the terrible monster that had haunted them was no more. Amazed, the king set him still more impossible tasks against fierce warriors and mighty raiders, but mounted upon Pegasus, Bellerophon won every single one. At last the king understood that this young man was beloved of the gods. He welcomed him as a son and gave him his daughter and half of his kingdom. Bellerophon had become the most celebrated hero in all the land, with a winged horse and the favor of the gods. He had everything a man could ever wish for. But with such glory came pride. Bellerophon began to believe that he was no longer a mortal man at all, but the equal of the very gods. And so, in his arrogance, he urged Pegasus upward, higher and higher, daring to fly all the way to Mount Olympus, the home of the gods themselves. But the gods would not suffer such pride. Zeus sent down a single tiny gadfly which stung the winged horse sharply upon its flank. Pegasus reared and bucked in pain, and Bellerophon was thrown from his back, tumbling down and down, all the long way back to the earth far below. He survived the fall, but he was broken and humbled, and he wandered the earth alone for the rest of his days, while Pegasus flew on to live among the gods. A fire-breathing monster slain, a winged horse tamed, and a proud fall remembered for all time. Follow for more tales from ancient Greece. Next time, a ship of heroes and a quest for a fleece of gold.